Well, look what we got going. Earl the Pearl and G. Bush is back at it, ready for this episode of the Ultimate Browns. This feel like old times, Earl?
Yeah,
It's
dude,
old
man. It's been a
times.
while. It's been a while. Let's get it.
Let's get it, man. So we got a lot to do. Hey, listen, right now, people is moving around and they talking about, oh my goodness, how's these reps being split up? It's a lot of stuff going on behind closed doors at OTAs, and that might be by plan. We'll come back and talk about it when we have this next episode of The Ultimate Browns. Welcome to the fastest 30 minutes in all of sports. It's G. Bush, Earl the Pearl on this episode of Ultimate Browns. We ain't had my guy on in a long time. And I saw a tweet earlier, Earl. I saw a tweet that you put out. And I thought it was really, I thought it had some meat to it. Let's pop on and get right off into this thing, man. Let's go ahead and throw this out here. Let me move this out here. And you said, according to the article I just read, Kevin Stefanski stated that Shedeur Sanders has taken 11 on 11 reps. Those reps were just closed to the media. Shedeur participated in 11 on 11 reps in the front of the media on Wednesday. Why am I pointing this out? Because of the narrative floating that he won't be given a fair chance to compete. And you know, Earl, as I took a look at the your article, or not your article, but your text or your tweet, I was like, there is something to that. If you look at it, you know, we are only privy to how many different different practices. We've seen two practices out up close and personal where we've had media out to those two practices. We've had some stuff at OTAs, but one of the things that a lot of people don't mention is there are practices that nobody is allowed to be, and media is not there. They're working on different things, and we don't know how those reps are split up. What are your thoughts on the fact that there's a lot of things going on behind closed doors and decisions that are being made that maybe we just don't have an opportunity to see that could be taking place?
Yeah, so last week was the first set of the OTAs, the three practices. One was open to the media. I assume the Cleveland Browns is going to handle business the same way with the second set. They practiced today. If you want to see any of the footage, you just look at the Cleveland Browns social media. You will find that the practice will be available to the media tomorrow. And then I think they practice again on Friday, which again will be closed off. I just thought this was important to put out because with Shedeur Sanders comes a brand new fan base, right? He has his own fan base that has kind of integrated themselves within the Cleveland Browns fan base. And people are frustrated or irritated because of the information that's presented to them. And the information presented is, okay, he didn't get the opportunity to run with the 11 on 11s, drills. All he did was 7 on 7s, etc. Him being fourth on the depth chart, they're wondering, okay, when is Shedeur going to get the opportunity to prove what he can do? And I feel like right now, the Cleveland Browns can control as much as the atmosphere as they're going to be able to throughout any point this season. And so having him get his first set of 11 on 11 reps behind closed doors without the media there, I thought it was smart. Now, Kevin did say earlier this week or late last week that, this time around, he will throw an 11 11s in front of the media. But again, to me, I was just putting it out there because I feel like, we know how narratives can easily be created in the media, based on the limited amount of information that's put out there. And a lot of people has walked around this entire time with the assumption of, well, Shedeur didn't got an opportunity to prove what he can do in 11 on 11s, when the truth is, no, he's been out there working in those drills too. We just haven't been able to see it. And right now, I think it's the right approach.
I look at it like this, and it's great that you bring this point up, because we're going to bring up a comment that was under the tweet here in a second. Is the fact that there's a lot of different things that coaches do for a lot of different reasons, right? And the one thing that you mentioned is that, if you guys don't know, for the people from the outside looking in, the Cleveland Browns are a highly analytical G14 classified team. They won't tell you. You could walk outside and look up and say, is it sunny, and is it Tuesday? And they'll tell you, well, all depends on where you're at in the city. Like, they are very closed mouth with what they do. And a lot of people, have thought like, man, well, is it going to be a fair competition? Is he going to get a fair shake? And a lot of people, if you report the fact that he's not getting first team reps or he's not in there with the ones, people is going to be up in arms. They're going to say, listen, well, I thought this was a competition. But when you bring to the table that when you have a young quarterback and there is going to be media everywhere, right? And guess what? That media is coming and it's going to be well available right when you get to the point where that season starts. Because when he get in the first game, it's from there it goes, right? We talked about how many different articles and how many things that you're going to be involved in. And this opportunity to ease him in when you got a guy who's coming from, Colorado, when you got a guy that's coming and you get here and you want to ease him into some things. You want to make sure his transition is good. You want to make sure that everybody gets acclimated to what's going on. It's great. It's a decent idea to say, listen, we're going to give you the reps. We're going to have it under closed doors, so we don't have to have everything dissected. We can coach you up, do what we need to do, and get you comfortable so you don't have to be taking some of the bullets in terms of the questions and those things too. And to me, I don't have a problem with that. It's part of earning the mantle.
Yeah, when I look at it, I think we still have to remind ourselves that we're still in the voluntary part of the OTA program. And so next month, or this month now, when they start the mandatory veterans mini camp, I think that'll give fans a better idea of how this quarterback competition is shaping up and then what to expect as we open up training camp. But for right now, if you have the opportunity to control your atmosphere, especially with somebody that comes with with the name recognition that Shedeur Sanders comes with, then you do that. But I really try not to buy into the narratives that he's not getting a fair shake. Of course, when we talk to people, when the mics is off or when the cameras is off, you get a little bit more insight of what's going on. I think what triggers me, though, is the limited information that's put out there that intentionally provokes irritation for people that's a part of his fan base, right? Because you can frame anything the way that you want to frame it, and it's been framed like Shedeur's not getting his fair shake. You hear people that's a part of his fan base saying already, like, I hope Shedeur actually get traded or things like that. Well, let's pump the brakes. He's a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal that says unless otherwise, he's here for the next 4 years minimum. And so we need to chill with the whole, he should go ask for that. And I get it. His personal fan base, they have that emotional attachment to him, and they want to see him be put in the best situations to thrive and to have success. But this is the Cleveland Browns. The list of quarterbacks who have started or been given the opportunity to start here since 1999 is longer than my hair right now. So it's just one of those situations to where Shedeur is going to get his opportunities to show what he can do. I personally think when he gets his opportunities, I think he's going to ball out. Like me and Mike did a Ultimate 216 show last week, and we did a way too early quarterback projection. Mm-hmm. And I said going into week 1, I think it's Joe Flacco as your QB1 and Shedeur Sanders is your QB2. The reality of the situation is, for me, I understand where Dillon Gabriel was drafted at, and I understand that means, okay, well, the Browns liked him a little bit more. But the reality of it is, when I watch the two play, I don't think Dillon Gabriel is a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I don't think Kenny Pickett is a better quarterback than either one of them. So I think it's going to shape up come week 1, Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders, Dillon Gabriel.
You bring up a lot of things right there. And I'm a little bit of, like I said before, and one thing I can say about, what Shedeur Sanders has put forth right now, and what you talk about Coach Prime a lot. Listen, he's going to come in. We talked to Boogie. He's going to come in and work. Like, at the end of the day, he's done everything, said everything is the right way. But, end all be all is what you put down on that tape. He's going to get an opportunity. All of the guys are going to get an opportunity. And it comes down to what you do and what you put on the tape. And I happen to be a person that believes that he will get it done. I think I liked him at 2. I liked him at 33. Heck, I liked him in the 5th round. People talk about the 5th round. Sometimes it could be a blessing in disguise. I'm glad we got a guy of his talent in the 5th round. And now it doesn't matter about the rounds. It's about what you do, what you get when you get your opportunity. So, whether that opportunity comes behind closed doors or in front of this camera, you still have to produce and earn the right. And I think he understands that too.
So I can't remember if it was the 2020 or the 2021 draft, but I posted this on my Twitter account. You know, Jeff Okudah, standout corner from Ohio State, was drafted with the 3rd overall pick in the 1st round, and L'Jarius Sneed, DB, that was ended up in Kansas City, was drafted 4th overall. And I said something along the lines of, like, you know, saying like Dylan Gabriel is better than Shedeur just because he was drafted higher. It's like saying Jeff Okudah is a better player than L'Jarius Sneed because he was a 1st round pick 3, and L'Jarius was drafted in the 4th round. You know, there's no perfect science when it comes to the draft. If you hear the Baltimore Ravens general manager speak, I think he did an interview right after the draft to where he talked about, you know, none of these GMs really know who's good and who's not, and it's really pretty much just a crapshoot. And so when you got as many opportunities, or how did he put it? You know, you want to get as many at bats as you can,
right,
and see if you can hit it out the park. And so I don't really care where players are drafted. I just care what they do with the opportunities when they get them. And, you know, I just think that he's going to make the most of his opportunities. I have learned over my couple of years, just, you know, following his team much closely. When you talk to quote unquote insiders and people that's around, you know, Zach Jackson is very, very honest, very transparent. And I always go back to what he said about Deshaun Watson. That was opposite to the news that me and you were hearing. Yep. You know, as somebody that was supporting, okay, let's see if we can get this thing turned around. And he said, no, he don't look good at all. This ain't it. This ain't all. And, you know, just listening and paying attention and then just getting feedback, it's starting to shape itself out of who's rising to the top as far as this quarterback competition is shaping out, even though it's early.
Listen, let's get to some comments that we had under the post. Make sure, hey man, matter of fact, let me put that back up here, man. Make sure you follow at Earl the Pearl 216 on Twitter, man. He had this up here. Let's go to some of these comments. Response 1. Mel says, yeah, I think it's also important to remember we early in the process when we start training camp and preseason. That's where you want most of the reps coming from. If you support Shedeur, if he lights it up, then we will all see it, and nobody can lie about anything. I think he brings up a very good point, Earl, is the fact that, you know, we're super early in the process, and sometimes here's where I come out on top, come out of the thought at. It's almost too early. It does you no good to really say other people is trash or to downplay anybody, right? You may think, like you just said, I think that Shedeur probably has the best traits. I would like to see him play. I'm sure there's some people that think Dylan Gabriel is a guy that they want to support, Kenny Pickett, or even Joe Flacco. At this point, we ain't seen nobody throw no balls, do nothing. So it don't really do you no good to go too hard at it, because at the end of the day, you're going to get your opportunity, and then that's when we going to really be into it, seeing what's going on.
Yeah, you know, and I think Tyvis did a great job of laying this out about a week or so ago. Like, you know, we still way early in the process, and once we get to that mandatory veterans camp, okay, then you start ramping it up, and then it's time for us to start digging a little closer. Yeah. But, you know, once by the time that they return for training camp, that's when, if you want to start charting stats, go right ahead. If you really want to start looking at this thing under the microscope, go right ahead, because at that time you got padded practices, you got the offense going against the defense, and what you do in those practice sessions, that's where it really counts. But, you know, charting stats and throws and all that other stuff at this current gesture, I just think that's unnecessary. And again, I think it's helped driving these narratives one way or another when it's just too early to be doing all of that.
Let's get to response number 2. Ricky Smith says, I've said it. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets more team reps in the sessions closed to the media, just so the whole nation isn't reporting every reps. And, you know, you think about that. You know, the job of the coach is to evaluate and get everything done. I think it's actually slightly savvy. I think probably sometimes I was talking today, I was talking to McNuggets, and I was like, listen, you think they'd be laughing at us? You think they'd be like, oh man, these dudes really be thinking we be out there really giving them what they running? Well, we run all our stuff behind closed doors, dog.
I do. Especially like, this is just a guess. I think Kevin Stefanski get really, really irritated with us in the media.
Oh, he do.
I think he gets irritated with the questions. He gets irritated with the line of questioning.
Right.
He's had to deal with Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, now
Yep.
personality like Shedeur Sanders, and he knows what comes with that. And he just gets so annoyed because all he really wants to do is coach his football team, not answer our stupid ass questions about what we think is going to happen or things like that. He just wants to kind of roll out a plan and be a football coach, not a guy that sit up there and answers our questions about things that he would much rather keep in private. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he tries to outsmart us more often than not. And what we see, you know, when the media is public, is just a facade, and the real work always gets done when nobody is around.
Yeah, listen, we'll get to we'll come back and we'll get to a couple of other things. Jerry Jeudy is not in the top 32. He's our number one receiver, but is not in the top 32. We'll go through the list according to PFF, and we'll talk about whether or not Earl agrees if he's in the top 32 or not, and which guys need to go. We'll come back and do it all right here on this episode of The Ultimate Browns. Today's episode is brought to you by Buckeye State Credit Union. If you are unfamiliar with them, let me introduce you to a financial friend you didn't know you needed until now. Buckeye State Credit Union is a local brand that offers a wide range of products from savings accounts to mortgages and auto loans. They have some of the lowest rates around and committed to serving Northeast Ohio. The Cleveland location is in Shaker Heights, but there are 5 brick-and-mortar locations across the state. Basically, Buckeye State Credit Union is here to help you and make your life a little bit easier. They make banking more convenient, always putting the customers first, so that you leave feeling cared for, valued, and respected. At Buckeye State Credit Union, our core values are what set us apart. Connect, simplify, and adapt. These values make Buckeye Credit Union the right choice for you. For more information, head to BuckeyeCU.com for more information. That's a Buckeye State Credit Union, your money simplified. Welcome back to the fastest 30 minutes in sports. Earl the Pearl, G. Bush, right here on the Ultimate Browns. Make sure you're checking out the Ultimate 216, subscribing to that. Earl the Pearl doing big things over there. Last episode, you had Mary Kay Cabot on, correct?
I did have Mary Kay Cabot on, and it was fire. Me and Cecil was back at it live tomorrow, 5 p.m. We got Spencer German from Locked On Browns and 92.3 The Fan, who will be out at OTAs tomorrow. Is going to jump on with me and Cecil and tell us what he saw in that open session. So that should be fun.
Oh, you definitely get into that. Make sure you check it out, man. I miss talking to Spencer. So make sure you're checking them out on Locked On Browns as well. Earl, we talked about it a little bit before we got to break. They had, for PFF, they had their top 32 receivers. Now, here's the crazy thing about the top 32 receivers. Everybody is top 20 until you put the list out, Earl. Everybody top 20 until you actually start counting. And we'll go ahead and get to them, and we'll throw it. Matter of fact, where's my little thing? Here we go. We'll do it. Top tier list right now. Now, this is their tier number 1. This is the superstar tier. You got. AJ.
I would have had JJ 1, but that's cool.
So okay, you would have had Jay Jettis, number 1. They got Jamar Chase and AJ Brown in the top tier, tier 1. Do you have any problems with that tier?
No, I ain't got no problems with that tier.
You good with that tier? Okay, we gonna stamp that. Earl the Pearl 216. He ain't got a problem with no smoke with tier number 1. Let's go to tier number 2. Amon-Ra St. Brown, tier 2. Puka Nacua, tier 2. CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins, and Tyreek Hill. Do you have a problem with anybody in that list?
Puka.
Puka. You got him a little lower, huh?
Yeah, I think Puka a little too high on that list for me. Amon-Ra, man, that dude is a dog. CD, we already know what CD can do. Nico Collins, man, he's getting better every year. Tyreek Hill been putting on every season. Like last season was probably his worst season in quite some time, and it was still better than most. But I don't know. I think Puka is real good. Just number 5 to me is too high.
A little too high for you.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at now. Listen, what we also have to think about is Jerry Jeudy didn't make this list. Where do you slide? Have you seen anything egregious so far that says, boy, stop playing? Why is Jerry Jeudy lower than him yet? I don't see anything yet.
No, not the rate.
All right. Let's get to tier number 3. The list gets a little smaller. Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, Drake London, Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, Brian Thomas Jr., and Devontae Adams. Looking at the list, do you think you got a problem with somebody? I might got a problem with somebody on this list.
I think Drake London is too high.
Drake London a little high.
Yeah, I think
London has been standout since 2022. Cumulative WAR is 1.21. I didn't know they was using WAR for receivers.
Yeah, that's great. I thought that was a baseball stat.
I did too. or goalie stat. Over the past 3 years, he ranks 12th amongst wide receivers with a 90.1 receiving grade in 2024, with the 5th best in the league. Okay, he was 5th best according to PFF. At this point, you take a look at what Drake London is, I would have to have a problem. I would say Jerry Jeudy could be in this list. What do you think? What do you think about the list other than that?
So I ain't got the numbers right in front of me, but I think I compared this. Drake and Jerry kind of had similar seasons. So to see Drake sitting up here at number 11 and Jerry not even top 32, that's a head scratcher. Outside of Drake, I don't really have no problem with the list. I really won't debate the order. Just when I see the tiers, cool. I would take Drake London out this tier. Puka will come out of tier 2. So I think those are the 2 swing and misses they got right there.
Okay, let me see. Just to give you 2024 Drake London, 1,271 yards. Okay, 74.8 yards per game.
Jerry had 1,229.
And so Drake London had 9 touchdowns.
And he had 4.
So I think they got him on the touchdowns, but it still seemed a little high to me, dog. It just some reason.
Yeah, that's high. When you consider Jerry not top 32, that is a little high.
All right, so let's get to you moving along. Let's get to wide receiver tier number 4. Now, I was kind of scratching my head. You do have Devontae Smith, Chris Godwin, sorry about that. Brandon Ayuk, DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle, Ladd McConkey, DK Metcalf is at 23, Chris Olave at number 24. Just eyeballing it. What stands out to you?
I think Ladd stands out, but not necessarily in a bad way. Like, I understand, like, that was his rookie season.
Right.
But I kind of thought, like, I think Ladd is better than Drake London already, for example.
Like, Drake London is a little overrated to me.
Maybe so I thought it was just me. I think Drake is a little overrated. Like
you see, that was a Freudian slip. You think Drake the rapper is overrated too? No Drake slander. No Drake slander, bro. Boy, we've been catching it. We caught it all, man. Listen, man.
But no, I'm serious. Like I look at Ladd, like, man, that boy a baller, man.
Underneath the coverage.
Yeah, like that boy a baller. I think DJ Moore is a dog. I honestly think hot take for me. So like, I ain't say this like on none of our platforms, but I was in group chats with my friends last year, and I was saying, like, I thought Jalen Daniels was going to win Rookie of the Year. I thought he was a better quarterback than Caleb Williams. I don't think Caleb Williams is good at all. The whole point I'm making is I seen 2 seasons ago DJ Moore have a hell of a season with Justin Fields as his quarterback, and he got to take a step back because Caleb Williams was developing. But I don't think Caleb will that.
I like Jaden Daniels much better. I liked him coming out of college, and when people will say, I'll say, hey, listen, I know he's slider frame, but this dude nice. Like, I like, dude, that's not a terrible take. Caleb Williams got a lot to prove. I still think Drake May got some stuff to prove. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's hard. That the season that Jaden Daniels put up was ridiculous.
Well, I ain't gonna hold you. I think Drake May better than Caleb Williams too. I do.
At this point, now hold on. Where you put Bo Nix at?
I think so. I feel like Mike, man, he gonna see this. He gonna have something to say. McNuggets be hating on Bo Nix.
Him and Jay got into it crazy over Bo Nix because
he be hating on Bo Nix, and I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. He do be hating on Bo Nix. He feel like Bo Nix still got this. I got to prove it to you. Like I think a lot of the league got it wrong, and I think if you can redraft, I think Bo Nix go much higher than what he do.
They got to bet. I don't know what they bet. They bet behind closed doors. Him and Jay said, "Man, listen, we going," and then all of us have to basically vote on it. I think the bet is we got to vote on it. And they said, well, what are we going to go by points or whatever? And I said, listen, it's just the eye test. You know who better. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, whatever you're right. We're going to see. It was Bo Nix. Who did Jay have? Jay had.
Oh, it was Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. That was it.
It was Bryce Young.
Another takedown.
I'm cool. I'm cool with the 5'8", 5'9" quarterbacks, man. Like that,
we've been bitten a few times with that, like that. You know the most heartbreaking thing on a third down. I'm gonna tell you this. To me, sacks or interceptions don't hurt me. I don't know why I feel like this. Maybe because I'm a D-liner or something. But when the quarterback throw the ball and they get batted down and there's no opportunity for it to even be a catch, it hurts my heart, bro. I'd be mad. I'd be like, no. At least if they let you get the ball off, it could turn into something. It could get tipped around, but I'd be mad when it gets tipped at the line of scrimmage. I can't deal with it, Earl. Can't deal with it.
Yo, random, man. I'm distracted by these comments. So, like I ain't really been on social media or like that. I get tagged and stuff, and I talk to the crew. But like, man, like his fan base is strong, boy.
Where? Oh, you talk about are you on Twitter or you in these comments?
I'm in these comments and I'm a little distracted. This man's fan base is strong. So I got some, I got people that hit me up. Like one of my friends called me. He was like, man, I know you kind of like been behind the scenes, but what you think about like Shadour's fan base? I'm like, what about it? I ain't really seen it. And they was just like, we here for Shadour, this, that, and the third. And it's like, well, to me, cool. He's like, yeah, man, but they trying to crap on the Browns at the same time. I don't know about you. I don't really buy too much into it. I guess this is my first time really seeing it. Since,
let me pull these up. Hold on. We're going to get to the, listen, this is like, great. Let's get to it.
This is how I see it, right? Because I get a little sensitive like a lot of other people do, right? So I'm a huge fan of Shadour Sanders. And what a lot of people don't know is me and McNuggets was upstairs since week 3 of the 2024 season. Every single day, like just throwing it in the air, trying to speak it into existence that the Cleveland Browns are going to draft Shadour Sanders. Like, I think dude is a baller. I think when he get his opportunity, he going to have to prove it. I think he's going to have to, and I think he will. Now, with all that being said, man, I cheer for the Cleveland Browns, the brown and orange first. I care about the name on the front of the jersey much more than I care about the name on the back of the jersey, because no matter if Shadour Sanders is good or not, he's a player, and players come and go. And the fandom that all of us have for this team is going to be here. And if you're somebody that's here to support Shadour Sanders and you ride with 12, that's cool. Just don't try to like crap on the Cleveland Browns in the process, because cheering for Shadour, you low-key cheering for the Browns as well. And I don't care how y'all want to see it. When you turn on that TV on Sunday, man, you turn it on and you still tuning in to watch the Browns. You still going to be a contributor to everything Cleveland Browns. So it's like, if you here for Shadour, cool, but understand, like, man, you part of this fan base right now too, whether you like it or not. Just don't try to put down our team to try to elevate Shadour, because that math is stupid. It don't add up. It never makes sense. Like, that is very weird behavior. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That's very weird behavior.
I tell people all the time, I'm a firm believer in this. I love the movie Drumline. And I love the full circleness of the movie Drumline, because it's one band, one sound. The great thing about it is, like, it's almost like being in-laws. When you get married to somebody. You get married to their in-laws. And I think a lot of times is how we explain it is, when you come from the Cleveland Browns fan base, you look at it from their perspective, and the Browns have had all kind of people who they have anointed as the next guy, right? Whether it's Baker Mayfield, whether it's Deshaun Watson, whether it's It's Colt McCoy, whether it's Tim Couch. I mean, I'm 43 years old, and I didn't watch every single draft since the year 2000. And the jersey goes a long way. People talk about it. So, when you come into the fan base, what I try to do is explain why it is the people are the way we are. The Browns fan base is very proud. The Browns fan base is kind of standoffish too. Because at the end of the day, we the redheaded stepchildren in the NFL. They make jerseys, they clown us, they talk about what we do, but we very proud in the way we say, you can only talk about, we can talk about the Browns. We trash, but yeah, we are.
You know what's so funny about Browns fans, and people in the chat might agree with this, right? We will argue with each other all day long, tooth and nail, right? But we really, really don't like outsiders trying to argue with us or trying to have like they foot in our business. You know what I mean? Like let us take care of this amongst ourselves. Don't come poking your nose in our business trying to figure out what's going on. Browns fans is sensitive. Like we suffered a lot of losing. You know what I mean? A lot of expectation, and we've been let down a lot. So it is what it is. So yeah, we passionate about this fan base, and we ain't really trying to hear the noise of people who ain't been here, who got a whole lot to say. Just come in, sit down, observe, be quiet, and just get along for the ride. But all that premature talking and all that extra stuff, man, our fan base just don't be with that.
And here's the thing though, too. At the end of the day, I believe that you got to look at it from a standpoint of Shedeur Sanders fan base. It's like, yeah, we come in here, we going to just same way we sensitive about y'all, we sensitive about ours too. That's a thing. Like we here when we pull up, if I'm your family, they look at it as, like I tell people, they look at it as like family. And it's like, yo, if that's my family and we pulling up, we going to pull up and we going to be there for our family the same way that you, with the Cleveland Browns, the Browns was the Browns before we got here. But we was doing this before we got here. The thing is, I always say this. If you're going to ever be somebody, if you ever going to do something, you got to come together. Because at the end of the day, if Shedeur Sanders is good, the Cleveland Browns is good. And when Shedeur Sanders scored them touchdowns, it ain't just busting Shedeur Sanders. It said the Cleveland Browns scored them touchdowns. And so a lot of the noise and extraness between us on the outside and the fans and the media, at the end of the day, we want to come together to win a championship. Because for me, that's what I want. I want that trophy.
Put it to you this way. In our heads, right? We might have this vision of Shedeur being the starter, Quinshon Judkins being the starter, Jerry Jeudy balling out, right? But it might become a situation to where, Joe Flacco the starter, Dylan Sampson the starter, and Cedric Tillman is your best wide receiver. Real Browns fans,
we gonna support.
If we winning, we don't care how it look like. Will we love it for Shedeur to be the guy, to be the starting quarterback, to be that guy to turn things around? Hell yeah, we'll love that because we understand what comes with that. This dude got a huge fan base, a lot of name recognition, and that would be great. But if it just so happened to be somebody else and the Browns are still good and the Browns get to where they want to be, we are Browns fans first. At the end of the day, we don't give a damn who is out there, how it get done. What we care about as a city and a fan base, we just care about it getting done. Like, that's it for us. So if you somebody that's just here for 12, okay, cool. But like, you've been here since April. So just come in, chill out. Don't disrespect the team. Don't disrespect the fan base that's been here, and just be a part of the club. We'll welcome y'all with open arms. Just don't be disrespectful. Don't be out of pocket. That's it.
Hey, we all want the same thing. And guess what? The great part about it is you're gonna find out anyway. You're gonna find out. We're gonna find out what it's gonna get down to. But here's the thing, too. I will say this, man. We shouldn't make it no us versus them thing. That shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be no thing. And at the end of the day, we want Shedeur to succeed. We want Cleveland Browns to succeed. We want Joe Flacco to succeed. We want Kevin Stefanski to succeed, because at the end of the day, it's about the Cleveland Browns. Let's get to this tier number 5 when we're talking about it. Zay Flowers, Marvin Harrison Jr., Marvin Harrison Jr., Jackson Smith-Njigba, Rashee Rice, Josh Downs. Which one of these dudes do you think is this a solid list?
I'm biased. I see 2 dudes on this list that's way too low.
All right, way too low. So all right,
Way
hold
too
on.
low.
Do you believe that somebody is on this list is higher than is Jerry Jeudy higher than somebody on this list?
Josh Downs.
Josh Downs.
Yeah,
He's higher than
easily
him.
Josh Downs. Yeah.
So
When Jerry Jeudy become not a baller? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
According to this, he's not even in this tier. I'm confused because there's still one more tier, Earl.
Yeah, like this is crazy. Like I think Marvin Harrison Jr. and JSN, they a little too low, but again, I'm biased. They Ohio State guys, but no, Josh Downs, man, I wouldn't put him ahead of Jerry Jeudy on no list.
Listen, Rashee Rice, it'd be tough for me to put Rashee Rice right there. It'd be tough. I don't know. He got an ACL and he
didn't play 2024. You're right.
No, and he got hurt in the streets.
I don't care about him being in the streets. That's his business. You already know how I am. I don't care about that. But
hey, listen, I know. Listen. As long as you ain't on the suspension list, hey, I'm cool.
Yeah, just show up to your job, man.
Deebo Samuel, Courtland Sutton, Jameson Williams. Which one of you cats you got a problem with?
Sutton over Jeudy. I ain't feeling that. I ain't really sure if I'm feeling Deebo over Jeudy either.
Yeah, Deebo, he look a little fullbackish.
And this ain't even Browns bias. Like Jerry Jeudy is a baller. You know what I mean? He stay healthy. He can run routes. He got enough speed to take the top off the defense. He catches damn near everything that come in his direction. He tough. Like, a lot of people were skeptical with Jerry coming to this team last year, but he showed up and he showed out. And if he have decent quarterback play, the numbers is even better than what it is. The 4 touchdowns are what they are, man. He still put up over 1,200 yards and 90 receptions when he was the only really threat out there, and opposing teams knew it, and he still brought in the numbers that he brought in. So, I think he should be in the top 32. How high, I don't know. That's for other people to determine. But Downs and Sutton for sure, I probably would take up off that list.
Yeah, listen. Here's where we develop and here where you go to with it. Whoever the quarterback is going to be, they're going to need somebody to throw the ball to. And right now, when you take a look at who they got throwing the football to, you got Jerry Jeudy and not much else. We'll kind of go into this next segment when we get back, and we'll kind of talk about a person I think needs to step up and a person that I believe that if he does something and has a really big year, I think he's going to do his thing. I think he will have a big year, and I think it can change the way the Browns look at it. We'll come back and do it right here on The Ultimate Browns. Say goodbye to sticky notes, scribbled plans on the fridge, and overlapping calendar invites. The Skylight Calendar is here to bring you clarity to the chaos and help families stay organized without the stress. This sleek digital display syncs with your existing calendars and includes Google, Apple, Outlook, and more, making it simple to track appointments, practices, dinners, and reminders all in one easy-to-see place. What would it mean to eliminate the I didn't know excuse from your family's routine? Could assigning everyone their own color finally solve who does what confusion in the house? How often do plans get missed because they're buried in a digital calendar or not written down at all? This can all be taken care of by Skylight Calendar. Right now, Skylight is offering our listeners $30 off a 15-inch calendar by going to skylight.com/NFL. Go to skylight.com/NFL for $30 off your 15-inch calendar. That's SKYLIGHTCAL.com/NFL. Welcome back to the fastest 30 minutes in all of sports. Your boy G. Bush, Earl the Pearl, right here on The Ultimate Browns. We've been talking about a little bit of Jerry Jeudy. We've been talking about what's going on at OTAs behind closed doors. And we kind of talked about the receiving core. You got to Jerry Jeudy. You got to, what Jerry Jeudy has been doing and why he was left out to 32. But there's one guy that when you look at it, I think he has to have a breakout year, and it comes down to Cedric Tillman to me. Cedric Tillman showed some signs last year throughout the season. I think he showed a few flashes. He did get a concussion, And with that concussion, he was out for the remainder of I believe it was the last 7 games of the year. A guy that showed some flashes during the time period when Joe Flacco was there as well. And I think he's a guy that if you could get 700, 800 yards from him, maybe a few touchdowns, 5-6 touchdowns from him. I think there's a situation where Cedric Tillman having a year that people didn't expect to have such a year can put the Browns in a position to do something offensively where I think that they may be limited. Right now, you got Diontae Johnson, who has not been in camp. I don't know why he ain't in camp. I talked about Myles Garrett and was joking and said, listen, why does Myles Garrett have to be in camp? I was not talking to Myles Garrett. I was talking to Diontae Johnson. He's a guy that should probably be in camp, catching footballs and doing something to kind of compete I think basically get his career back on track. But when you look at it, who do you have? You have a guy that technically is somebody who you would say, hey, if that guy has a decent career, if he has a decent season this year, the Cleveland Browns can win a couple more games than I think they would be able to win.
It's going to be a bounce back year for my boy Martin Emerson Jr. MJ.
Your man
MJ. Like, what did you think what I was gonna say? You thought something else was coming this way? Listen.
Your man's MJ Emerson, bro.
I ain't gonna lie.
Nice little number. His number look good. His number clean. I don't know though.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I really do feel like MJ gonna have a bounce back season. I think last year was humbling for him for real. You know what I mean? Like, I think just being exposed what his weaknesses was, I think it made him come back and work a little bit harder. But to me, MJ was trending towards a top 15, top 10 corner heading into the 2024 season. And, he regressed. So it's up to him in a contract year to come out, ball out, be ready to go and make some plays. And I think that if he can come out and just prove that he deserves a bag and can secure that number 2 corner spot next to Denzel Ward, I think it'll go a whole long way of helping the Cleveland Browns have some success.
All right, man. Listen, we at the end of the show, it's time to dive into some of these super chats, some of these comments. Let's get to it. Where's this smoke at? Where is this smoke? I should have put this on. There you go. Put that on right there. Let's get to. Here we go. Let me move this out the way so y'all can see. We can comment on this. Let's get to it. There we go. As a Cleveland Browns fan, I'm always the butt of the jokes when we talk NFL with my out-of-town friends, but I have no Cleveland slander in my presence unless you are Browns fans. What up, fam? What up, P. Rothstein? Hey, listen, at the end of the day, you got to think about this, man. Understand this. Your team got took. They got new uniforms and then went to the Super Bowl and won. The Pittsburgh Steelers laugh at you all the time. They joke and clown with you, right? Cincinnati Bengals, they ain't been that good, but at least they've been to the Super Bowl. The Cleveland Browns fans got a lot of pride, bro. And at the end of the day, all we want to do is win. And we be getting clowned all the time, P. Rothstein. And at the end of the day, sometimes, listen, Earl is taking things into his hands. He's used, no. Nah, listen.
I feel him though, like, man, like, listen, if you a Browns fan, cool. Like, we can have those conversations amongst each other. Like, yeah, we know what's up with us, man. But Browns fans are sensitive. They ain't trying to hear that noise from somebody who don't know nothing about what's going on around here.
Let me get to this. Where we at? Let me go to the top. Let me get to the top. Popcorn. Phil, Shador gonna have the locker room and the fans behind him so heavy. You can't stop this now. Mahomes didn't start the first year in the NFL. Shador fans acting like he's ready or not. He is not. Mary S. is not just part of the fan base. Your reporters are posting misinformation, so we will continue to speak up whether you like it or not. We don't care that Ohio, this Cleveland Browns team, so what?
Okay, so don't care. Like, whatever. At the end of the day, y'all might not like everything we say or how everything we gonna do about it, but the fact that y'all are Shedeur Sanders fans, guess what? Y'all gonna tune in to every single thing we do. Y'all gonna read every single thing we write. Y'all gonna listen to every single thing. So it is what it is. Like, I think we try to welcome y'all with open arms, but y'all too stubborn and too silly and too goofy to realize that's what's going on. I think all Cleveland Browns fans are saying is you could be a fan of Shedeur Sanders, or you could be here for 12, but just chill with the disrespect towards the city and the team. That's all they're saying. It ain't really that hard. It ain't that complicated.
Doesn't matter who starts. It'll be a miracle if they win 6 games. Kenny Lanzo, no, is media in Cleveland like Mary Kay asking about him and the fans like he was a cult leader, and he told that they have their own mind, they stand on their own principle. I can't control that though. Now here's what I will say. I mean, people do, here's the thing, people do ask questions and be like, why? I don't understand this question. Why are you so popular? I don't get that. Like, that's kind of wild. I get the fact that people may not understand that people have fans, but at the end of the day, like when you're asking somebody, why are your fans? Why do you have fans? He's like, dude, I go to work, I go do my thing. You know what I think the thing that's lost in the whole situation is, Shedeur don't even say nothing. All he does, he's going to practice. He's going to practice. That's all he's doing. And I think that gets lost in translation a lot, is the fact that there's a lot of things going on between the media and fan bases. And it's like, all right, well, look, at the end of the day, this dude is coming to work. This dude is coming to get it done. And at the end of the day, like I've always said, it's about what you do between these football lines. And
I think the noise is going to always be on social media, though. Shedeur Sanders, like, through this entire process, man, I can think of 4 reporters that I talked to that cover the Colorado Buffalo in person. And everything that we've seen from Shedeur Sanders since he's been in Cleveland, it's the same thing that he did in Colorado. It's the same thing that when he was at Jackson State. This is how this young man has been groomed throughout his career. He's quiet. He put his head down. He goes to work. He studies hard. He works hard. He's a good leader. He trains. He does everything that he needs to do to prepare himself to go out there and be the best quarterback he can for his team and to be a leader. And that's what made me excited about Shedeur Sanders being a part of this team. One, you want somebody that's confident in themselves and their own ability. You want somebody that work hard, and you want somebody that's willing to go the extra mile and do the little things that every other player is not willing to do. And I think that he comes with all those unwritten intangibles, not to mention the accuracy, not to mention the football IQ, being able to read a defense. Like, this dude, to me, is the total package. And I think, like, I know for me, I'll be cheering for him extra hard because I felt like some of the national media was going like a little too hard on his character when all we've ever heard was good things about his character.
Look here, and let me just, because I just keep it real. I tell a lot of people about a lot of situations, and I say, look, you look at it. And I try to explain to people out there why it's like that. And what I do in my blogs is I try to hold the mirror up and say, listen, this is what the reflection of what people are saying. There is a segment of the people that support Shedeur Sanders that feel that he was unjustly victimized when it came to his character. They said, and a lot of people get mad about anonymous things and anonymous things being said, and on top of that, being pranked after that, and then on top of that, getting dropped in the draft. As far as Shedeur is concerned, he's been cool about it. He's been great about it. He's trying to move on. But one of the best things that I think we can do, as well as the people that are outside, if you're rooting for him, if you're rooting for the Browns, if you're rooting for whatever, take his lead. He's like, yo, it ain't a big deal. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take it in stride. I'm gonna make it work, and I'm gonna do the best I can with my opportunities. Right? He hasn't been divisive. He hasn't been dismissive. He's been a great teammate. He don't think about it, and he keeps it pushing. You can do 2 things at once. You can root for Shedeur Sanders, right? And you can root for the Cleveland Browns. You can root for Shedeur Sanders and want to see him do well. And you can also say, listen, I want to see the team play well. And I think one of the things that we have to do is you have to divide the situation. And I get it. Some of the stuff gets me hot too. Some of the stuff,
but you know what, though, G, we can push narratives if we want to as real. So, like, let's just keep it a buck. So primarily, like, I'm one of the producers of the show. Right. And when we take the 2-hour show and we cut it up into individual clips, if you go back and you watch damn near every Canva thumbnail of Shedeur Sanders from the time he was drafted up until recently when we got new pictures, I always made sure that I had a picture of Shedeur smiling, picture and Shedeur engaged with other people, because I can't really speak to how it's going to turn out on the football field yet, but I can speak to what I know based on the people I talk to about his character. And so on our platform, you gonna always see Shedeur being painted in this light of somebody that, you know, helps people, that's generous, that's kind, that's smiling, that's happy, that's energetic. And so, like, if you ever went to our channel and you seen that, that's why we put that out there like that. You know, not everybody is coming with this narrative of trying to depict him in a negative light, you know, and especially like where we come from. And so, like, yeah, it is triggering, and yeah, it will piss you off, and it will get you a little hot because you understand, like, the math don't math when it comes to certain things. If a lot of these trusted and respected NFL draft experts and analysts had this young man rated as a top 30, top 40 player, and then he goes 144, automatically people are going to assume and lean towards, okay, this has something to do with things that didn't have to do with football. And when you start hearing it being about his character, it didn't add up to every reporter that we had on our show or every reporter that I talked to on 92.3 The Fan. It didn't add up with who Shedeur Sanders was as a person. And so to hear people that was trying to tear him apart as a person, I just thought that was a little odd and unnecessary.
Yeah, look, and you know, some of the things, and the way I always look at it is look, I said this, I was like, look, he fell to the 5th round. I'm glad he fell to the 5th round, selfishly, because there's a lot of people that really wanted Shedeur Sanders in the draft, and they wanted him at 2 or 33, and we feel like he's going to have the same level of energy. But at some point in time, right, at some point in time, it becomes about the thing in front of you. And the thing in front of you is the opportunity to continue to play and the opportunity to continue to get an opportunity to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns and lead us where we're trying to go. A lot of it is at some point in time, if you a Shedeur Sanders fan, or you a Cleveland media member, or you a Cleveland Browns fan, at some point in time, you're going to have to leave the 5th round to go, and we're going to leave the NFL draft alone, and we're going to have to actually just lock into what really counts, and that's the games, how we playing, and getting these dubs and getting these wins. And for me, that's what I'm about. I'm about the games and playing.
Think about it. One of our best players since we returned in 1999 was undrafted.
Josh Cribbs.
Yeah.
Undrafted.
So...
And he's beloved, and he's beloved. I'll say this: if Shedeur Sanders balls, he won't be an empty jersey in the stands, and it is what it is. With that being said, man, we appreciate you, Earl the Pearl, pulling up on us as always. Make sure you watch the Ultimate 216. When were you guys pulling up next?
Tomorrow, 5 p.m.
Tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pull up. We got my man Cecil back in the building, and here's what I'm trying to think about doing. I'm trying to have like a foursome. I'm gonna have like a little panel. Like I'm gonna try to get maybe you, me, Tyvis, Cecil, and we have a conversation, and we kind of just, we talk, we get that conversation and do like the 4 square, and we could be unedited and unfiltered. We might see if we can get that going, and we talk about some of the stuff that we get into preferably. But with that being said, it's your boy G Bush, and you never know where I might show up, radio, television, or internet. But if you want the fresh take on sports, you know where I keep the Clippers with me. Thank you very much for pulling up on us today. Have a great weekend. It ain't my weekend, it's the week, but I'll be off on Wednesday and Thursday. But have a great rest of your evening. And as always, what I end, go Browns.
Good show, bros.
Good show. Appreciate you, bro.
All righty.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.